with some crap in his eye. How are you? My eye is feeling very unhappy right now. Hi, how's it going? Hola. ¿Qué tal? What's going on? Yeah, I am Jaws Blake, as you well know. Hello, Snake Supreme. And I am having breakfast. This is Painter's Breakfast. It's basically in the title. It's what I do. Um, I don't have a plan for today's show. No, I am having a hummus salad for breakfast and some coffee with oat milk and honey. My mug. I am the manager. Um, yeah, it's the week of the 4th of July. That may mean a lot to you or very little, depending on where you are in the world, where you are in your mind. I have a bit of a tumultuous relationship with the 4th of July. I have family that are active military. I have family that fought in World War One and Two. There's a lot of history there. I don't feel it as much beyond that. That's just not my life. But yeah, this is a very good salad. I believe the phrase is zhuzhing. I zhuzhed it up a little. It's from Tacoma Bevco, one of my favorite local spots. Cheers to y'all. My mom is coming to visit me today from North Carolina, so I'm excited about that. We haven't seen each other in about a year. Possibly longer, actually. Hello. Hallelujah. Hello. Yay, madre. Exactly. Tina! How's it going? So yeah. I'm mostly just gonna clean up the house today. There's not a lot to do. It's mostly like taking recycling down and vacuuming. Thankfully, my lovely wife did so much already, so I don't really have to do very much today. But it's good. It's all very good. So in this salad, there is couscous, there is tomatoes, there's red peppers and cucumbers and spinach and hummus and tabbouleh, and I put some sardines and some feta and Janine, my wonderful, wonderful cousin who I haven't seen in like over many decades now. I love you and I miss you. I don't know what to say now. Caught me off guard with that one. I'm mostly working on art, honestly. I mean, I know that's shocking, via that I am El Pintor, the painter. But mostly working on art. Maybe. Maybe, Tina. Maybe. I might have time to hang out. I have to see. I'm currently replacing parts of our sink right now, which is its own. Home ownership is difficult. I don't know if I ever told you this. For any of you who have to fix things in your own house, the fail ratio very high. But I'm getting there. I have been basically trying to get the parts to fix the sink for about a month now. Every time I think I get the right one, it's not the right one. It's got a slight difference, a slight variation. As a mechanic, I know for a fact, via my own career, that uniformity is difficult to find in parts and pieces in almost every field. They make a lot of stuff so that you just buy another one of the stuff as opposed to fix the thing that's broken. So in my case, the hose that you pull got a crack in it and was shooting water. It's always fun when you turn your sink on and there's water. There's a geyser all of a sudden. So I used waterproof taping and taped it closed, but it still leaks a little bit. It needs to be replaced. I thought I could just replace the hose, but it appears I have to replace almost the whole thing, the nozzle and all that stuff, which is fine. It's coming like Wednesday. All the parts are coming Wednesday. I tried to go by the store, the hardware store, to get pieces, and I was greeted by the old man from the Muppets, basically, in the attic. As they kind of cackled and didn't really help. They were more of a peanut gallery than they were the people you go to for any type of love and support and help and etc. I think the exact words were, I got where I thought I was supposed to go. I was looking for the piece, and the guy looks at me and he goes, I think it's supposed to be right there. It's an empty space. And I go, oh, okay. But do you have any in the back? And he goes, well, it was there. It's just empty now. There's nothing there. And then another guy comes up and he goes, yep, that's where it was. Not there anymore. It's like, you're not helping me. And I go, cool. So you don't have any in the back. Got it. No back stock. Not a problem. I know how that is difficult in this day and age. And they go, and then they ask, do you want us to call the other store? And I think they're talking about the same store by the name in Tacoma Park or Silver Spring. They're not affiliated. Apparently the stores are not affiliated. I don't know how that works. They're chains, but wow. And they just proceeded to be silly old men the whole time. And I was like, well, okay then. I think I'm just going to go. You all have fun. A part of me was like boiling just a little bit. It was like, I don't know. I can feel the accent walking its way through me, coming back from my childhood. But I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to argue with these old men about something that they obviously don't care about. Here you go. So then I proceeded to go to different hardware stores and grab parts that I thought were going to work. None of which worked. They're all a very slight variant of a bolt that I need. I thought about making it, and I was like, that's probably a bad idea. So Alec ordered it, because my wife is smart. She's better at this than I am, I guess. Just listen to your wives. That's my suggestion. That's my ultimate painter's advice. Listen to your wives. They have an abstract view on what you're on what you're working on. while you're all worked up and worried about whatever, they're just kind of like, yeah, let's get this nonsense over with because this is ridiculous. So, it is on its way. I finished my sketchbook, by the way. So I gotta make a video showing you my whole big sketchbook. I got new ones now, but people seem to like sketchbook tours. It's interesting. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're kind of crap. I'm not gonna lie. And that's sketchbooks, not the tours. The tours are fine. In my case, I kind of just do whatever I want to do in them. It's more kind of a dance of colors and like ideas and patterns and textures. There's not a lot of work that is done per se to be finished. That's not really what it's for me anyways. So I'm kind of somewhere in the middle of finishing my zine. It is mostly done, but it needs like the finishing touches, which is mostly me taking photos of it and then tweaking little things. I also want to say thank you for everybody who joined me on Painters Radio on Saturday night. I changed it from Sunday night to Saturday night because I wasn't really getting the attention I needed with it. I shortened it also because I figured maybe it's too long. But it was fun. Played a little music, told little stories. It was cool. New episode of the Painter Files podcast came out. That was good. It had a bunch of pieces and parts in it that I'm workshopping right now. So if you get a chance, check it out. Hello, Madonna. This is a lot of food. I don't realize how much food there was. So it's huge. It's like a big Chipotle bowl, but of healthier options. I actually worked for Chipotle a very long time ago, in my youth, back when they were owned by McDonald's. I was in art school in Raleigh, North Carolina, and in that, I was working at this fireplace store, which is a strange concept, but they do have fireplace stores. And they couldn't give me enough hours. So, across the highway and down the street from where I lived was a Chipotle. So I applied. I'd never heard of Chipotle. I'd never tried it, never heard of it, never done any of that stuff. It was right beside a Hardee's, or a Carl's Jr. is what I think it was called. So I went to work for Chipotle. I was astounded by how much salt went into everything. I was a chef. I was one of their line cooks, which was interesting because, like, you know, your boy doesn't really eat meat, so he only messes with fish. So it was a little strange. I learned how to make certain foods without actually trying them, but knowing how they're supposed to be via kind of texture, consistency, cutting them open, doing all that stuff. It was interesting. of course, me being a weird little art kid that I was, the thing that actually interested me about Chipotle the most was their wall art, because they had all this like wood, sheet metal cut like Mayan inspired artwork from this Central American artist, and I was just blown away by that. I think in my mind, the hustle I had in my mind was, if I work here for a while, my art could be the new face of Chipotle. That's not how it works. But. When you're trying to make a living at what you do, you see all these venues and kind of possibilities with every single opportunity. Nothing is just a thing. It is a stepping stone or a doorway to more of the direction in which you want to go. Now, they are very corporate, and so they used a firm and all this stuff, so it wasn't really one of those, walk in, let me show you my portfolio. Oh my god, this is so good! That type of situation. And I was not lacking confidence at the time in my work. I had reached that point in my art career where I had sold a bunch of work and I could pretty much draw or paint anything in my own style and feel insanely confident about it. I had a very like Diego Rivera like feature style at the time when I was drawing faces. Very Mesoamerican. Everybody looked Mesoamerican, which I thought was funny because in the art world, a lot of times your style is simply how you're comfortable making mistakes and how you're comfortable making accomplishments. And so I was pretty happy about it. And I mean, I made everybody kind of look the way I look in a lot of ways. Kind of like a mestizo. So like a indigenous, Afro, Latino, West Indian type of. It was very funny because like I draw like white people and they were like, "Oh my god, I look so different." And I'm like, not really, but okay. But it was just kind of funny because like a lot of times like what we consider good art culturally is we make everybody look like they're from England in a lot of ways, or they're hip hop artists. There's no like middle ground in between that. So I thought it was kind of funny and a little strange that people didn't see what I saw when I drew them. And now I'm to the point where I just paint and I don't think about it anymore. I definitely realized that I did a live like many years ago. And I remember someone told me that they thought my art style of drawing faces was ugly. And I remember telling them on the stream, I was like, they just don't look white. That's kind of like they're not the aesthetic of like what white America thinks is beautiful about other people. Which is strange. I know that's a heavy concept to throw at people. But like you think about it, you think of like the Octavia Spencers of actresses versus like the Holly Berry of actresses, where they're both very talented, they're both beautiful people, but Holly Berry is more along the lines of like a Eurocentric version of what beauty is, where Octavia Spencer from The Help, I think, is the best movie I can. There's a bunch of movies she's done, but like The Help is the one I think a lot of people remember the most. Also, the Fish movie. I'm trying to think of it with Guillermo del Toro. What is the name of that movie? I love that movie. But she's in that. She's incredible in that too. There are a lot of movies she's done that are just amazing, but she's not heralded as Hollywood does not herald her as an it girl, even though she very much should be, because she's done so many movies and she's beautiful and she's famous and she's all these things, but like they don't put her as a sex symbol. Halle Berry is a sex symbol, or at least I'm old, so Halle Berry is a sex symbol. Some of you are so young you probably don't know who she is. That's okay. Google is around. You'll get there. Yeah, so I just started making all this work, and I started kind of realizing like there needed to be representation of people outside of like anime and like Renaissance classically portraying stuff. And when I realized I could do that, outside of that I could do that, I was hit with all this confidence. Because I was like, oh wait, no, I'm not a bad artist. I just don't paint like these people. And I name those people, but sadly the problem with following trends is you are 15 minutes at best famous for it, and then you're obscure again. And fame doesn't always parlay. As an artist, fame is not necessarily something that parlays stability or wealth or anything. Your work can be more famous than you are. In fact, oftentimes is more famous than you are. I mean, if you're a great artist, oftentimes people see your work and then they look you up. We kind of live in a scrolling society. Halle Berry is also biracial, which is why she possesses white European traits. Okay. Yeah, probably. It makes sense. I do always find the interesting aspect of like biracial. Our mother is from England. Okay, I didn't know that. I always think the interesting thing about biracial is when people think of the word biracial, they always assume like white and black. Where like I am also biracial, but like I am Latino and West Indian. So it's always kind of interesting how that works. I think a lot of times people assume, they hear biracial and they assume, they're like, oh, so which parent is white? And it's like, well, neither actually. Neither at all. A lot of us are a lot of things. I mean, hell, at one point in time, to be biracial was if you were Italian and Irish. True, I don't assume black and white. I should lead with England. No, I understand what you mean, Tina. I'm not referring to you specifically. I'm referring to people at large. I'm not going to finish this. There's so much food. But all right, I have to clean, and I'm not finishing this. So yeah, I'm finish my coffee, and I'm gonna bid you adieu. Chug, chug, chug. Yeah. I just think it's really good to like introduce people to unconventional standards of like beauty and different body types, different hair textures, chug. All these things. I think it's important. I think it's really important to see that represented in art. I think like a lot of the ways that we define like beauty in society is through the art representations that we have. So if I can help with that, I will. And yeah, chug. And to all, a good day. Modify. Yes. So I will see you later. I will run across, see everything going. Love mean it. Pin around. Ciao. Bye. One day I'll hit the right button. It'll be amazing. There we go. All right. Pin around. Ciao. Bye.